Kol Halol, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Salakia, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Rakwa Kwadash. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So Jetsuit Company brings superhuman abilities to emergency responders. A pioneering British jet suit company is giving superhuman powers to the response of emergency services for search and rescue missions in remote locations in the north of England. A North Air Ambulance paramedic is the first of 3 trainees to fly the Gravity Industries jet suit in the steep hills of the Lake District after just 6 lessons. Okay, there's that number 6. Initially, when I was told about this, I thought it's impossible. And then it starts to become possible. And then actually, you start to see the trials of what's achievable. And now I feel there's a place where this can benefit patients. All right. That's basically the meat and potatoes, okay? So you can see that this technology is being, at least in this news article, they're saying that it would be used for emergency responders. But we know that there's a war going on right now. And if you look at World War I or II, Woe 1 and Woe 2, all the shit that was being manufactured in the countries that were involved in those woes, all their shit was being used to fund, all the materials were being funneled towards the war. And then the common folk that stayed back that weren't fighting, they had to use rations and shit. Now, of course, we know it's deeper because Esau used that deception to get women in the workplace, blah, 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 okay? But it was also biblical prophecy number 1, okay? But because of that prophecy being fulfilled, there were so many things that affected society. Now, jumping back to this, though, we know that this technology is going to be used for wartime. And what you just saw was a beta form of what's to come. All right, you're going to see Esau soldiers, they're shock troopers, if you would. They're going to be able to do all this shit. So how can, Pookie on the block that holds his 9mm sideways with his serial number shaved off, how is he going to go up against a motherfucker that can fly and shoot lasers and heart attack guns? All right, the only way you could go against this is if you have an angelic body. Okay, because as I just said, what we just saw was beta technology, trials, shit that could be shown to the public without arousing suspicion. All right, so let's get the scripts. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Now, there's 3 heavens, if you would. This on earth is supposed to be a heaven for Israel, Yasharallah. But right now, because of Job 9 and 24, it's Esau's heaven and Israel's hell. Okay, but this is supposed to be a heaven. And then space is a heaven. If you actually look at pictures of space, right, Esau takes pictures of space, you'll see that it looks like jewels. All the galaxies in the background with the black backdrop, it all looks like jewels. It literally looks like an opal stone, a multicolored stone. It looks absolutely stunning. And this is just how I perceive it through human, like flawed eyes. It's much more beautiful. And then you have the 3rd heaven where Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai resides, right? Yahweh Yahushai. And so we have Michael, or Allah, and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. All right, the dragon being Esau, Edom, the serpent, the red serpent. And we know angel means messenger. all right, the messengers of death on the left-hand side. So they're going to be fighting, yeah, you just heard me, Archangel Michael with our Father, pertaining to Isaiah 9 and 6, our everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, Yahushua Mashiach, making the trumpets turn with Raphael and, the other two archangels, and perhaps even more, because there could be more that we just don't know about. Not saying there is, but I mean, it's going to be an event like no other, right? Ever. So, of course, yeah, Wish Mashai is going to have things we didn't even know is going to pop off. But, yeah, you're going to have the archangels with their angelic bodies. And you're also going to have, because of what I learned from Elder Apostle Tahar. So after Lord wills, if we're the elect, we get beamed up in the chariots. We're going to see destruction. And then, you're going to have Edomites in their space stations, underground, in remote places in the ocean, and maybe even the air, like all sorts of shit, right? And then with those angelic bodies on some Terminator shit, we're going to be going up against these carnal motherfuckers that can fly, but we can fly organically, spiritually on the right-hand side. They have to rely on a machine. Like you might see a fellow Ak going up against a group of Edomites, and a couple of the Edomites' equipment failed them. You know what I mean? But us in our angelic bodies, we won't fail. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a fight. So going back to this article, the technology they're going to use has to start somewhere, right? And it's beautiful that Yahweh Shemashah has revealed this unto us. Because, of course, Esau Edom is going to use deception and say it's used for one thing, but we know that war is in their hearts. All right, so this is Jude chapter 1, verse 9. Because Allah, that ain't the first time he tangled with the dragon. Yet Allah, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Masha, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yeshai rebuke thee. All right, because if you really believe, like, an archangel is going to have faith like we can't even understand right now, right? So obviously, if he says, Yahweh Bashem Yeshai rebuke thee, like, that's a wrap. Like, you don't need to say anything more. That's the names right there. So Allah has a, like, imagine he's been contending with Satan as a spiritual entity, the spiritual demon Satan. So now he gets a chance to fight the spiritual demon, Satan's physical counterpart. And Lord wills, if we're the elect, we get to partake in all this. Can you imagine? So we get to be involved in vendetta and beefs on the right-hand side, you know what I'm saying? And it's just amazing. So call Allah, Yahweh Shemashai. Hope for y'all were edified. Shalom.